Satnam Aloha. So I got a little bit of a late start today, waiting for the energy. Sometimes you have to wait. You have to be patient for the energy to move. So it's moving now. So the first thing I want to talk about is kind of my why. Why? And what's this neutrino astrology channel about, especially if you're new? So I'm not really doing astrology in the sense of predictions. Not doing predictions. I'm more about liberation. Liberation. So it's not really, this channel isn't really about giving you a timeline of external events. And I'm here to really decode the map of your inner evolution. So my work is really about awakening you from your conditioning, healing karmic wounds, especially around love, power, voice, and especially the divine feminine, and aligning with your authentic essence and your spiritual calling, your soul purpose, and then walking the path of remembrance and embodiment in this new 400-year cycle that starts in 2027. Then I talk about the cross of the sleeping phoenix and about you reclaiming your divine feminine power, not as a trend, but as a cosmic responsibility, because you have a huge destiny if you're on my fractal during this time. So the spiritual guidance, this is a spiritual guidance channel, and it's rooted in human design and the gates, using the gates as energetic doorways, using the gene keys as evolutionary maps of shadows to gifts, to cities, the divine gifts, and then using astrology as your soul's calendar, and then tarot as a mirror of the soul's present truth. The tarot is always reflecting the present moment. And then, of course, Kundalini Yoga and meditation. And these are ancient teachings and sacred technology for soul remembrance. So my role is not to tell you who you are, but it's to help you to remember, because you're not here to play small, right? You're here to rise as the phoenix. And this is the phoenix. So it's the phoenix fractal. So like I said, you'll know you're on my fractal because you'll find the sound of my voice soothing. You'll resonate with the messages deeply. You'll have the Pluto Scorpio. You'll have the Scorpio stellium. You'll have stellium in the 8th house. You'll have Black Moon, Lilith, and stellium. You'll be like loaded up, you know, in the Matrix when they're in the construct and they're loading up to go into the Matrix, the Earth plane here. It's like guns, give me guns. Well, you're loaded up with Scorpio guns, whoever you are. Okay? So I want to start off with this. And I'm not sure if I talked about the crystals here. So this is, we're going to be talking about the full moon in the 54th gate, but you need to know this first. So according to human design, we have crystals. They're called crystals. So you have a design crystal and you have a personality crystal. So the design crystal is found in the ajna, and this is different than yogic teachings. The ajna is the third eye. The ajna in human design is your own personal mind. And this design crystal enters at 88 degrees before the sun. 88 degrees of the sun before birth, and which is about 3 months before you were born. And it anchors into the ajna center, and then it links to the magnetic monopole right here, the magnetic monopole. So these two come in together. And in the G center, this is called the G center, right? The magnetic monopole. It's the second gate. So and we all have it. It doesn't matter if you have the second gate activated or not in your chart. So the function of the design crystal, it stores your body intelligence, your ancestral memory, your past lives, and your genetic coding. So it's unconscious, but it determines your vehicle, your physical body's trajectory through time and space. And it governs form consciousness. So it's all about your vehicle, all about your body. So this is being formed 3 months before this design crystal comes in, 3 months before that you're born. And then you've got the personality crystal, and this is what you're aware of. And this is at the crown chakra, so just above the head. So this enters the moment of birth. Your personality crystal comes in, and this is carrying your mental awareness, your sense of I, and conscious perspective. So it's what you identify with, your personality crystal, your mind, your preferences, your story, what your stories are, the details of your story. And this is the part of you that usually says me, mine. And then the magnetic monopole is energetically connected and located at the G center, and it acts as a binder, keeping the two crystals, the design crystal and the personality crystal, together in the illusion of oneself. So it keeps us in the illusion of the Maya, it keeps us in the illusion of separation. And it guides the life path and attracts what's correct for you in your geometry. So during the full moon, and I talked about this with the Death and Dying online retreat, and I did that. I think I did that back in 2023 in December. I may do this again from a different perspective. The Death and Dying. There's a whole systematic way that the crystals actually dislodge at the moment of death, and there's a whole system, a sequence actually. So if you're interested in that, let me know. The Death and Dying. I'd like to do that more in the fall. It fits with the energy. So back to the full moon. So during the full moon, there can be a tension between the personality crystal and the design crystal. And it can become more apparent through feeling emotionally overwhelmed. You may have dreams of your design side from the design crystal. This is your body memory. There can be confusion or awakening. The personality side may be lit up during the full moon. And there can be relationship stuff, relationship projections, where the design memory is looking for resolution. So you could call that karma too, but it's looking for this wholeness. It's looking for wholeness. So if we go to the natal chart, so you had your the transit chart only has the black side, but if you look at your natal chart, and if you don't have your chart, you can go to jovianarchive.com and get your free chart. I always have a link in my information box. So so this is a natal chart. So this is the design. The design crystal rules this. The personality crystal rules this right here. And there's the magnetic monopole is here. The two. So in terms of this, with the natal chart is just so that you have a look at it. The if we want to look at the solar plexus, we'll talk about the solar plexus. So this is the solar plexus here, and you'll notice with your human design, if this is colored in, your authority is your emotions, your solar plexus. It has that much power, and this is going through a huge mutation for 2027. So in terms of the full moon, the solar plexus center gets activated big time. So this governs emotional waves. Your emotional waves is the storehouse of your emotions here. So during the full moon, the emotions will peak, right? But remember with the full moon, when it even does the tides, right? It activates the water, and we're 90% water almost. So this is especially intense for people who have an emotional authority and Undefined. So this person has an undefined emotional center. So whatever is unconscious is being made conscious during the full moon. So if emotional authority, right? So this would be colored in. So you want to look at your chart. If you have a colored in solar plexus, that means it's defined. And that means that your waves will crest. So your emotional wave will be up, 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 up. And then undefined. So this person's undefined, it's white. They're going to amplify other people's emotions. They'll be amplifying the ones that are colored in. It's 50-50. 50% of the planet have this colored in and 50% have it white. But the white ones will amplify others' emotions, and they may feel very, very overwhelmed emotionally during the full moon. So what's happening here, right? So water equals emotions equals solar plexus, and then the subconscious, your design crystal, is your body memory, and then there's this opposition, and there's a potential, an opportunity for some kind of illumination for you, depending on which gate the full moon is activating. So this is the self, right, opposing the past, your design. And in human design, this can mirror your personality crystal versus your design crystal. So your consciousness versus your unconscious, your subconscious patterns will come up to be illuminated during the full moon. And this creates a potential for a huge breakthrough if witnessed with awareness, which means that you stay neutral, right? And that's a yogi term, to stay in the neutral mind, to stay neutral and witness with awareness, not reacting or trying to control the emotions. So with this, we'll look at the gene key or the gate to get a full picture of this full moon energy. So if we go to the full moon chart, so you notice, right, that this is all black. So the full moon is activating the 54th gate, line 4. And so this is the 54 is the shadow of greed. You can see it comes off the root chakra here, down here. And it's the gift of aspiration, and it's the city, the divine gift of ascension. So emotions, just briefly saying that your emotions can come up around themes of ambition, scarcity, spiritual drive may erupt, which is positive. And then there can be subconscious patterns, especially from your ancestors, around class on the hierarchy, where you fit in the hierarchy, and this subconscious drive to like climb the social ladder. So this can questions like this can come up. What have I achieved so far? What have I done in my life so far? And then this channel, the 5432, now it's not all the way activated, but it gives you more information about the theme of the 54, the 5432. That makes the channel. This is called the channel of transformation. So this is transformation through time and trust. This is Capricorn. We're talking Capricorn. So, of course, we're ruled by Saturn. So it's about time, trusting the process. It's the goat one step at a time, climbing the mountain. And then turning pressure, because this is a root chakra, so there's a pressure, into purpose, and letting go of what no longer ensures your spiritual survival. So sustainable evolution, not burnout. So this is really a theme of endurance for your spiritual evolution, and it's the ambition to ascend, not just materially, but soulfully. So it begins at the root, the 54, And there's a pressure to rise, to transcend karma, to break free. And it travels to the 32, which is the spleen. And that's testing whether the path is truly sustainable. The path you're on is truly sustainable. Is it wise? Is it aligned with your long-term survival? And we're not talking about your material keeping your body alive. This is about your soul's evolution. So when distorted, when you're in the shadow, it can become toxic striving, fear of failure, or clinging to old roles that you've outgrown. So when embodied, it becomes soul alchemy. So you're rising from your ancestral karma through the phoenix fire. The 54 is the phoenix fire. It also rules Kundalini energy. And it's tested by your intuition. The spleen is very intuitive. And then it's restructured as sacred ambition. So let's just let's ground this energy. Let's ground it so it really lands. It lands in your nervous system. So transformation through time and trust. This is spiritual maturity. It's not instant. If you've been on the path for a while, you know that spiritual growth takes time. It takes time, it takes effort, and it builds into a sacred endurance, because you've got to look at yourself when you're on the spiritual path. You're on the marathon run. It's not about a sprint. There's no quick fixes, and there's a lot of false prophets out there that promise quick fixes. There's no quick fix on the spiritual path. So what's an example of this? A woman, right, breaks a generational pattern by staying on her healing path for years, not chasing quick fixes. Even when her family doesn't change, she stays on the path. She perseveres. So turning pressure into purpose. So you've got to make sure that you're choosing the right path. Is this path sustainable? Is my path sustainable? Or is it promising shortcuts and quick fixes? So turning the pressure of the root chakra into purpose. So not all pressure is bad. We're moving away from this idea of comfort. We've been conditioned to be comfortable in our life. And spiritually, that is not serving your evolution. So pressure can be healthy. Pressure is healthy. There's one sutra in the Aquarian age. There's 5 sutras. And one of the sutras is when the time is on, the pressure of time is on, start, and the pressure will be off. So it's saying to make a baby step, and then the pressure will start to relieve because you're aligning with your soul purpose. So this route is pushing you towards your evolution. So instead of spiraling into anxiety or people pleasing, you channel the pressure. This is how you work with this energy. You channel the pressure that you feel at work or in relationships into launching something. Like, I feel this pressure around my work and my career right now. It's not aligned with me. Well, this pressure gets you moving. Okay, I've been talking about putting my shingle out and doing life coaching or some kind of modality, like really putting myself out there. And then you feel you've been him-hawing. Maybe one day it's just a dream. You don't really take action on it. And then something happens, right? You get a reduction in pay, or your boss changes and your boss is more of a tyrant. That's this pressure, and it's the pressure of your soul. It's like, get going on your soul purpose, get on your path. So that pressure can when things get worse, they seem to get worse because it's a pressure, and the pressure is coming from your own soul to start moving ahead. So not all pressure is bad, right? So and then also pressure like you can't hold back anymore. You've got to speak your truth, especially if you have taken vows of obedience, vows of silence in your past lives. And then this pressure is like, I can't hold back anymore. I have to speak the truth. So, also letting go, let's look at this one, letting go of what no longer ensures your true spiritual survival. Your true spiritual survival. Because you want to keep that light inside you alive. So this is a real shift, right? It's shifting from I have to keep this body alive to I have to keep my soul alive and vibrant and vibrating. So this is you realize that the old relationship is not it's not keeping your spirit alive. Your soul is starving in this relationship. Your soul is starving in this job or career. You're not being challenged. You're not being stretched. You're not evolving. You're not growing. An old identity that you've kept, the nice girl. I'm the nice girl, or I'm the one that has it all together, and I'm the one that fixes everybody else. Anybody in a crisis calls me. I'm done with this old identity. It's not safe. It's not safe for my soul. It's not who I am. So this is no longer clinging to things that are safe, right? No longer clinging to things that are safe, that you've been conditioned to believe are safe, that keep you comfortable, that keep you locked in a karmic loop. Even if it's familiar, this is like letting go of what no longer serves you. And this, if you imagine yourself now in this moment, well, there's a future self. And imagine that. If I continue in this relationship, if I continue in this job, if I continue playing this role, this identity, what's my future self going to look like? Just speed up the reel. Put it on fast forward. Who is that future self? Now, if you look at your spiritual survival, what's feeding my soul? What's feeding my heart? What's that future self going to look like? It's going to be radically different, isn't it? So this is what 54, the full moon in the 54 is showing you, right? And all you have to do is like just close your eyes and it's like, oh, okay, higher self, tell me what my future self will look like if I continue, if I stubbornly cling to comfort and safety. What will my future self look like? You may see a grave, right? An early grave. So check that out. And this is all about you transforming. So, so the sustainable evolution, not burnout, not burnout. So instead of forcing a big launch, you honor the cycles and the pace. Okay, well, I'm gonna be okay, YouTube influencer. I'm gonna get my YouTube channel going. And then you get it going, you get all excited, you're on fire, blah, blah, blah. You end up with, I don't know, 15 views or something. This is you realizing that, and this could burn you out, couldn't it? If you were in the shadow of greed. It's like, I need to have a couple thousand views on my first video and then I'll keep going. No, you've got to look at it like sustainable evolution. Because it's not about your efforting, it's about your frequency. And so this is maturity. And this is what I've had to learn. It's like the world, the collective, is not ready for this message. They're not ready for this message, but you are, the people on my fractal are, and that's who I'm serving. So you have to look at it like that. Sustainable. You're on a marathon run. You want to pace yourself. You recognize the cycles that you're in because it's about you. It's really about you. It's not about the algorithm. It's about you. So you honor the cycles and the pace, and you build a long-term foundation for transformation that lasts, that's solid, that has a foundation. So the 54 is going to get you to look at your relationships, your environment, where you're living, the job career that you're in, these old identities, this full moon, if you're open to that, to see the truth. Okay. So what's really interesting about this 54, and I know I pull up this cycle of consciousness a lot because, like I said at the beginning of the video, I'm really about helping you as a projector and guiding you to this new energy, this new energy. So if we look at the global cycles, you can see that the cross of planning is coming to an end. Look at the dates here. That started in 1615, ending in 2026, and then 2027 comes in, and this is the cross of the sleeping phoenix here. So we're moving from collective safety to an individual awakening. So tribal safety, collective safety, into individual awakening. So we're moving from a collective tribal era where safety came through systems and roles and external structures into an individual embodied era where survival depends on your own inner truth, your energetic integrity, and your personal alignment. So these are very important for this new age. So we're seeing the crumbling of all these systems. That's what we're seeing. The chaos out in the world is the destruction. It's being destroyed now, so something new can be rebuilt. So the cross of planning, the old cycle, was the 37. Look, the 37 and the 40 there, and then the 9 and the 16. And so this was about support. It was about family. It was about obligation, sacrificing your individuality and authenticity for the good of the family, the good of the tribe. And then logic, the 9, the 16, were about logic, planning, about mastery. We got to keep that system running. We have to stay connected. We have to sacrifice for the tribe. Those were the big themes in 1615. And now we're moving into the sleeping phoenix, and we have the 55, the 59, and the 34, and the 20. So check that out in your chart. It doesn't matter if you don't have it activated in your own natal chart, but if you do, you're going to be have a resonance with this new energy coming in. So why not embrace it now? It's ending next year. It's like a year and a half till 2027. It's not that far off, and it's going to get more intense as we move. Every day we come closer to 2027. You're going to feel this shift in energy, and you're going to be like banging your head against the wall if you're back with this tribal bargain obligation, thinking the system's going to save you. No, it's not going to save you. So we're moving into the sleeping phoenix, and this is the new energy that's rising, and this is the gate 3420. Like I said, the 3420 here, and this is embodied power in the present now moment. Your embodied power. Power is a big word for the sleeping phoenix, but it's also a big word for my fractal, and I'll talk about this later in the video here. And then you've got gate 59 and 59, and this is emotional sovereignty and intimacy. And it's transparency. Transparency is another big word. So this is about living your authenticity, being your authentic self, not pretending anymore, not playing a role, just being you, living your design in terms of human design, following your fire, following your passion, and awakening your full life force. And there's a big block with the divine feminines, and I'm going to talk about this. So the core shift is really from your external contracts, because that's tribal. So we sign contracts in the spiritual realm too, and here on the earth plane, to internal combustion, your fire. It's about your fire. So it's moving from supporting the collective machine to igniting your own individual soul, igniting your own individual soul. So this is the new shift. And this is what will help you to thrive, not just survive, but to thrive in this lifetime. So you can see that there's the cross of the Sphinx on the other side. So these are locks right here. And I want to talk about these locks. The 13, the 7, the 1, and the 2, those are locks. So they never change as we go through these cycles, but the keys do. So you can see the cross of planning was the 61, 62, 32, and 42. Well, they're shifting for the cross of the sleeping phoenix. So so this is the themes, right? So while the cross of planning and the sleeping phoenix shift themes, the cross of the Sphinx right here stays steady underneath. So it's guiding. It's like a guiding. This is how we do it, but this is the guide. It's guiding our direction through time. So gate 1 is purpose through self-expression. It's very creative. Gate 2, this is another lock. Remember, magnetic monopole. This is receptivity. It's your inner GPS system. Gate 7 is role of the self and guidance. This is leadership. And then gate 13 is the listener of the past. So these aren't the background cycles. These locks are the background cycles. These are the map. This is like the map, the direction that we're going to be headed towards as a humanity. So you can see here that 1 is changed, right? So I want to look at the, because there's the 54. That's why it grabbed my attention. This is the new key. So we're moving from the key of the 61 to the 54, and the lock is the 13. So let's look at this. I've got another slide here. There we go there. So there's the cross of planning, and this is the key, the old key, and the 61. And look where it is. It's up in the crown, right? It's the mind. It's mental. It's mental pressure. And there's the lock, the 13, that's in the G center. And then you've got the 54. This is the new key right here. There's the new key for the cross of the sleeping phoenix, and it's down at the root. So right away, these are 2 pressure centers right here. Mental pressure up here, and then this is root pressure. So different key here. So the gate 54 is the new key to unlock the 13, the 13th lock. So the 13, well, what's this lock about that never changes? Well, this is the lock of holds, it's part of this sleeping phoenix, right? The cross of the Sphinx. It's part of the cross of the Sphinx, this 13th lock. And this is about memory. The 13 is about memory. It's about the past. It's about the karmic record. So it's the lock on the direction of our soul and human species, in our human species. So for years, since 1615, it's been in the 61, and that's been the key to unlock this. So this was understanding, unlocking the past through the mind, right? So this would be like mystery and doubt and the pressure to know, but now it's in the full moon, the 54th. Which is showing us this is the new key, is ambition, but it's transformed by fire. So this is not the 54th key now in the cross of the sleeping phoenix. This is not about getting to the top of the heap. I have the most money. I'm almost a trillionaire, right? That's which would unlock this. This is a different kind of ambition. This is fire. This is fire energy. This is about soul evolution. That's the new key. So this holds ancestral trauma, this lock, the 13th, soul pain, feminine silence, and the direction can't shift until this wound is named. So this 54, This is Phoenix energy. That's the Phoenix ambition. It burns through karmic stagnation, says, I will rise. Even if these people around me do not rise, I will rise. It's individual. It's breaking away from the tribal contract. If my family can't rise, I'm rising. Doesn't matter. It's individual. If my partner, my spouse won't rise, doesn't matter. I rise. My community doesn't rise, doesn't matter. I rise. So when the fire of the 54 unlocks this wound of the 13, we no longer live by memory as a species. The 13th is about memory. We're living by memory. That's what the mind is. As soon as we go to the mind for our authority, go to the mind, we're in the past. Even if we're talking about the future, we're projecting the past into the future. We're in the past here. And this is living by memory, living by memory. That's what triggers are about. That's what conflict is about in our relationships, because we're living in the mind. We're in memory. So we're no longer going to be doing that. Now we're going to be, our momentum and drive will be towards the future. Your individual soul's evolution. That's what will drive you. Not memory, not the past. So this is the core of this full moon. That's why I wanted to bring this 54 up. So you're no longer serve memory. You no longer serve memories. You serve the flame that transforms these memories here. So what's the other one here? Okay. So you may say, well, what's the big deal, right? What's the big deal? Why is this important? Why we must open this now? Well, this is the gate of the witness. The 13th is the gate of the witness. It's the gatherer of our stories. So I'm talking collectively now. So this is our collective memory of humanity. It's our ancestral trauma. It's our unresolved karma. It's our sacred contracts. It's all the whispers of what came before. This gate 13 holds all the stories. So this gate is not a lock because it's bad, because it's a lock because it was never meant to be closed forevermore. It's meant to be open. So, right? So it was meant to be guarded until this new frequency of the cross of the sleeping phoenix arrived. So why we must open it now? Well, we want to release the old collective story of suffering, of the proof of worth, our separation from source, the truth of why we're on this planet. What are we doing here? Why are we here? How did we get here? The truth. We can get to the truth here. Of our separation from source, of our distorted powers, war and conflict. What's all that about? Broken unions and creative suppression. Where's our power? Where's our power? We're so disconnected from our power. And then to retrieve soul fragments stored in the ancestral field. So pieces of identity, love, innocence are locked in here. So the stored for safekeeping. It's been stored for safekeeping by high priestess lineage. Go back to your past life. A lot of women on my fractal, they're high priestesses in hiding. This is locked. It's coded within your body. Now it's about to be unlocked. Waiting for the right moment to release when humanity was ready. And then to activate this new cycle, the 54, the cross of the sleeping phoenix. So this new frequency can't fully emerge if the old memory is still locked away, that it's sealed. So we must consciously close the past era with love, not denial. And then to make your body, why we need to open up this 13, is to make your body, divine feminine, available for divine purpose. Remember, your power is in your physical form. So until the lock is open, you're going to be living inside the karmic story. This is the loop that I talk about. looping, getting caught in the karmic loop that you've been doing lifetime after lifetime after lifetime until this is open. This has to be open. So opening the lock means that you're no longer bound. You remember who you are. The programming partner of the 13 is the 33, and that's on my ascendant, right? So this is remembering. This is remembering. There's the lock, the storage, and then the 33 expresses it. So you start to remember who you really are. You remember your power. And then you get to see, oh, I'm within this karmic loop. This isn't me. I have to step out of this, out of this prison, basically. So what happens if you don't? Maybe you choose, no, I don't want to do this work. I don't want to aspire. I don't want to go on my spiritual purpose. Well, the old story continues. It loops, right? Only more distortion, more suffering, and collective trauma will intensify if we don't open up this 13. And individuals will seek escape and distraction through addiction, through whatever it is to stay distracted in the Maya, forget who you are, instead of embodiment. And the truth will remain imprisoned in memory, stays locked here. The truth stays locked and not liberated in expression. So you can see that this is an important thing, this 54 and this full moon, to kind of get a heads up of what's coming. Okay. So what about the memories? The 13 is the memories. So how does this work individually for you? Is the question here. So memories, this is like the repeat. So memories are experiences that you've had. And where memory gets, because you're a spiritual being having human experiences, so your experiences are memories. They're called memories. And so if they're undigested, if you haven't like fully digested your experience, then these memories can become blocks for you. So in terms of relationship sabotage, so you haven't transmuted your memories. How does this play out for you individually? Well, there can be relationship sabotage. So this would be, the memory could be, we don't cry, we hold it in. The memory is, no, I don't cry, I hold it in. Here, or love equals, let's start here. Love equals abandonment. So this could be, the memory is of your mother. Your mother stayed with a man or in a relationship who withheld affection from her. And so you unconsciously choose an emotional of an unavailable partner, or overgive to try to prove your worth. So this is how an transmuted memory can happen here. And remember, she's your role model for your feminine. And then if we go emotional patterns from your mother's body that you've inherited, and this is, we don't cry, we don't cry, we hold it in. We hold it in. So you inherited your mother's unspoken grief or rage, and now you suppress your own emotion until it leaks out, and it will leak out through your body, through like migraines or gut issues, digestive issues, or anxiety spirals. Loyalty to family pain instead of soul truth. That could be a memory, how a memory plays out, but you haven't transmuted. And this is, the memory is, we stay small so we don't threaten anyone. So you've been given a soul purpose, divine feminine on my fractal, that requires visibility. It requires you to come out of hiding. But you dim your light because your sisters or your mother are still in suffering, and you fear surpassing them or being judged as selfish here. So this is more memory. You see how this can play out, right? So playing small to stay safe in the tribe. And this is the woman in the family. The memory is, the women in our family, they don't speak up, right? They pierce their lips shut. They don't speak. So this is you're a powerful communicator, Divine Feminine, but every time you prepare to launch or post or speak your truth, you get blocked because subconsciously, the memories are in the subconscious mind. You fear being exiled like your grandmother was when she spoke out. And this is all in that 13th lock for you individually. You can have unconscious recreation of betrayal, silence, or collapse. And the memory could be the women, we don't talk about what happened. We don't talk about our dirty laundry. We don't show our dirty laundry from the family. So this could be you attract clients or friends or lovers or spouses that betray your trust. They betray your trust, not because you're broken, but because your nervous system is replaying a pattern of silence and secrecy. All right, that's embedded in your lineage here, is that we don't talk about what happened. So gate 54 really gives you the fire that it ends with me. It ends with me. 54 says it ends with me. I will not betray myself to stay loyal to a wound, to a memory here. I turn this memory into growth, evolution. So this is the new way. It's not to do therapy and talk about what happened in your past and try to figure it out with the mind. It's like, no, I'm going right to the energy of this memory, the energy of this fire within me, and then I'm going to use that and transmute it. So this is like finally gives you the fire and the drive to finally do something about it, not analyzing it, not spiritualizing it, not spiritual leapfrogging over it, but burning the karma. And this births a new direction for you. So you can't stay, right? You can't shift in your life. You can't transform in your life if you're still loyal to the wound. So this is why transmutation is required, to become the ancestor who finally ends the loop and not lives it again over and over again. So a question to ask yourself, Divine Feminine, is what pain have I been loyal to that no longer serves my soul? What pain have I been loyal to that no longer serves my soul? Here. Okay. And then let's talk about this fire. Right, the fire. So I want to talk about the dark phoenix here. So if you know the X-Men, you'll notice Jean Grey here. She's the dark feminine who is very, very powerful, but her power was locked away in the unconscious mind and then would overtake her, and she became very, very destructive. So this is you, the dark phoenix. Fears her fire. When the feminine fears her fire, what happens? Well, this especially happens when the father wound is undigested. And when I said my fractal line, the women have a father wound. And they may not even be aware of it because they don't know what it is. They don't know what it is until they have the experience of having the healthy masculine, the healthy to bring that up in themselves, right? So this will especially happen when she has not digested her father wounds. So she was born to rise as the phoenix. You're born to rise, but you learn to burn yourself instead with this fire. So as a divine feminine, this is the chaos within you, and this is the fire. So clinging, what I want to say too with the fractal line is clinging, like I always want things to stay the same. That's not for you if you're on my fractal. You're in a constant death, rebirth process with this phoenix energy. Now, does that mean that your life is like really unstable externally? No, it means that there's so much movement going on within you. Like you're going to live like 15 lifetimes in one lifetime as a phoenix. So it's time to embrace change, embrace the change. And so why there's a block here is because the father, you're missing something in your architecture, your spiritual architecture. So if the father was absent, critical, or controlling, you can internalize, right, these beliefs. And the beliefs are my power is dangerous. If I express myself, I'll be rejected. I must stay small to stay safe. I have to be perfect to be loved. So, what the dark feminine does, she does one of two things. There's two choices here. So, she's going to either repress her fire, become overly spiritual, but ungrounded. She can silence her voice to hold her pain. She can get sick, self sabotage, or hide behind, I'm the good little fixer, I'm hiding behind surface. In extreme cases, she can cut herself. This is where this comes from, cutting herself, right? Turning it in on herself, this dark phoenix energy. And destroys herself to stay lovable. This is like eating disorders, bulimia, anorexic, right? This is the dark phoenix energy turned in on herself, that fire, because she's afraid of her power. She didn't learn, right? And this is the father. Father wasn't there. And then the other way she can go is she'll unleash the fire in destruction. And this is blowing up sacred relationships. It's becoming violent. She can become violent. She's projecting her rage onto partners or mentors. She uses truth as a weapon. She burns bridges with no completion or closure. And if I don't alchemize this fire that's coming up within me, it will alchemize me. So this is your work that comes up is the fire, right? The trauma or whatever is releasing with the 13, with the 13th lock. And then you've got the fire to transmute it. You've got the tool. You have the tools. So the truth, and this is a spiritual teaching, is whatever you don't deliver will destroy you. Whatever you don't deliver will destroy you. So this is how it will happen is the destruction will come towards people that are coming to help you. There's people that are coming to help you, divine feminine, right? But the dark phoenix takes over and then will destroy those relationships. Those same people that are helping you to rise, the dark phoenix comes out because she doesn't trust. She doesn't trust because of this father wound. So this is why gate 54 is rising now. It gives you the ambition to do the inner work, not just to project it outward, not project it out like, well, a savior is going to come and do the work for me, or I'm going to go on a plant medicine journey and then I'll be done with it. You're projecting outward onto something. This work has to take place within you. So it will activate your instinct to transform and not implode. So it's really learning to harness your energy, learning to harness your fire. So if you don't want to destroy your body, your mission, your mirror, you must deliver this fire cleanly. You must express what was exiled within you, and you must rise, not as a weapon, right? You rise as a woman that's reborn. You're the phoenix. You're the phoenix here. And then I think I did another slide on this. Okay. Yeah, I did. Okay. So to continue on with this dark phoenix, right? Because she's got the father wound. The dark phoenix has the father wound. And so she's looking for this father, because she knows at the soul level, she knows that she's missing something. So the father wound teaches her that power equals rejection. So if your father abandoned you or feared your emotions or criticized your creativity, or was emotionally unavailable, angry, or absent, then the little girl inside you learned, if I express my truth, I'll lose love. If I truly express my truth, I'll lose love. If I take up space, I'll be punished or ignored. If I'm too much, right, too emotional, too up and down, I'll be left. I'll be rejected. So what does she do here? She'll attract, right? So what she attracts, emotionally weak or unavailable, emotionally weak or spiritually weak men who are unavailable. They're intimidated by her depth, her brilliance, or leadership, fears her power when she shows any kind of power. She'll attract spiritually bypassing men that go right to the mind. They don't want to do the work. They don't want to face the shadow, or they're extremely passive, or they can be controlling, dismissive of your power, dismissive of your intuitive hits, right? Or completely non-committal, not present with you. And this is coming from the original pattern is coming from the father, right? The father wound. And then if you're this is when your fire can get distorted into rage. And this will especially happen during your menstruation, because that's your opportunity once a month, right? To purge physically, but also emotionally, to move this fire out of you. That's why women who speak during that time are they're in their power, right? Because they can't hold that back, that energy that's coming from their physical body. And then they're also connected to the pain body of all the other feminines on the planet. So this can get distorted if you're not using this energy correctly as rage, because you haven't been taught how to harness this energy. You haven't had the father that's held you while you went through this process as a child. So there can be rage, there can be overgiving, there can be manipulation, complete collapse, there can be shame that comes up, there can be guilt that comes up, complete abandonment comes up. And this is like you're outsourcing permission to be powerful. Can you please let me be powerful? Give me permission to be powerful, weak masculine. So when you awaken, your fire returns as purpose. Your fire is coming back as a purpose. When you stop waiting for permission, when you stop waiting for him to choose you, when you stop proving your worth, earning love, when you stop shrinking to be safe, you begin to alchemize the father wound, not just for yourself, but your whole lineage. You're doing this for, right? And then suddenly your fire becomes magnetism. Your fire becomes magnetism, not collapse. Your voice becomes medicine, not rage. And your leadership becomes safe, not scary. And you're here, divine feminine, on my fractal. You're here to lead other women. You're here to teach other women how to do the same, how to harness this fire within you. So, what was I going to say? So you're not here to be rescued. Dark Phoenix, this dark Phoenix energy, you're not here to be rescued. You're not here to keep attracting these karmic men, and I'm being very generous by calling them men because they're really boys in adult bodies. You're not here to keep attracting karmic boys, karmic sons, mothering them. You're here to burn off the wound and rise as a phoenix teacher, as a sleeping phoenix teacher. But first, you have to survive your own fire. You have to let go of the fear of your own fire and allow it to transmute you. It's no longer to fear that. Right? So you want to ask yourself, if you keep outsourcing your power to men, these weak men who can't hold you, they run away as soon as you show power. They give you the silent treatment, whatever they're doing, because they fear your power. You want to ask yourself, what part of you still needs to be rescued by your father? What part of you still needs to be rescued by your father? and to know that you're not too much, right? You're too powerful for these karmic boys, right? There's nothing wrong with you. They can't handle you. The karmics are not about you ascending into your power. The karmics are about holding you back in the wound, keeping you small, right? So, and that's why he runs, right? That's why he'll run when you rise. But the 54 is in the full moon is saying that I'm going to rise regardless of who approves or who doesn't give me permission. I'm still rising. Okay. And do I have another? Oh, we're done that. Which leads me to the Father Wound online retreat that's starting next week, a week and a half, July 18th to the 20th. And what do I want to say about this more? Okay, so this is really about the ambition to rise beyond karma, beyond your karma, and to transmute ancestral patterns and to burn off shame, silence, and sacrifice, especially around the masculine wound. So this is about healing. It's about a deep healing experience that will, what you've been keep attracting karmic men who can't hold your fire, collapsing into emotional dependency on these, or being hyper independent. So you can go back both ways. Like, I'm completely codependent in this relationship, or I'm like completely independent. I don't need anybody. Or you live in cycles of disappointment, rage, and grief, especially in the twin flame dynamics if you're on the twin flame path. So this is your pathway out of suffering. And this is coming clean with yourself, this Healing the Father Wound online retreat. And this is unlocking your unique father wound according to your chart. So you'll have a focus on what to focus on. And this is you've inherited from your ancestral line, from your mother line. And this, you'll learn how to hold your emotional fire without burning yourself out, without fearing it, and breaking the karmic loop of weak and controlling men, and trusting your body's wisdom again, and reclaiming your voice as a guidance system, and stop chasing, and you stop chasing and you start attracting. You come into your Empress energy, your divine feminine energy. And so this is especially, I mean, it's going to be a deep, profound experience for the women on my fractal, but also the women on the twin flame journey, especially if your connection feels stuck, reversed, or painful. This retreat's going to show you why. Because your outer union can't rise until your own inner masculine can hold. Your own inner masculine can hold. It's just physics, right? If your inner masculine is weak, then you're not going to attract the divine masculine in. You're going to keep attracting the karmic loops in, or your twin is actually expressing those karmic patterns for you, or you're in a karmic relationship right now. And if you're here to be a leader of women, you must learn to lead yourself through the fire first. So this is really a portal, this full moon, so that you can finally say, like, I'm done with betraying myself to be loved. You can finally say that after this retreat. I'm done waiting for a man to choose me, and I choose to rise for real, right? For real. I mean it this time. Okay. So let's see here. Okay, so let's go to the fractal read. Yeah, the tarot. There that you can see. Oh, the devil always shows up. I pulled the cards yesterday, so here we are. I'll look at my notes here. Let's see if you can see this better. I know a lot of you on your phone. There we go. Okay, so this is for the full moon, the 54th gate. So the question is, where is the fractal resisting transformation? And you got the Knight of Wands there. So addicted to impulse, addicted to staying busy, addicted to adrenaline, addicted to escape. So this is moving fast, but in a shallow way. You're not connected to your own inner being, your inner self. You're just being batted around by life, actually. Like following the mind. The mind wants you busy, 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 and distracted. So you're chasing the fire without grounding, and you seek breakthrough moments, but you're not staying long enough to transform. This is the bee. You know what I mean? This is the bee that goes from flower to flower, but never stays long enough to receive the nectar. That's the Knight of Wands. This is I'm bored. The mind is I'm bored. So you don't sustain transformation. So this is how you're resisting transformation. Transformation is here right now. If you open up to it, and it means you have to stop and pause. So this is jumping into spiritual highs, maybe going to a workshop, getting really, really high, and then crashing, because it's not sustainable. So you're riding the fire instead of channeling it. You're riding the fire instead of channeling it. So this is unintegrated fire, and it's ambition with no containment, no masculine here. So it's ambition, no focus is all over the place. This is the ADD card here. So what's trying to rise within you is the Nine of Pentacles. Beautiful. And this is sovereignty. Sovereignty. So this is your true self-worth is trying to emerge, Divine Feminine. Not as a fake thing, like, look, I got it all together, but real lived frequency or authenticity. And so this woman knows she doesn't need to chase. She doesn't need to run around distracted. This is rising. This is a soul that's rising in their fullness, and not for validation, external validation, just from her own self-love, her own self-respect. So this is the high, it's got a little bit of a high priestess energy too, right? And the Nine of Pentacles is like the lady in waiting for the Empress, right? The Empress there is the Nine of Pentacles, the lady in waiting. So you don't fully trust the stillness that comes with embodiment. You don't trust that. You don't trust that you'll attract everything that you need to you as a divine feminine. Right? So the Knight of Wands is like masculine energy, but it's not grounded. It's in and out, in and out, in and out. So that's trying to rise within you, this Nine of Pentacles energy. And this is like, I have it all together. Right? I'm attracting everything that I need. I don't need to outsource it. I don't need to look for the white knight to run in and save me. I have it all together here. The Nine of Pentacles. I'm self-sovereign. That's a really good card that wants to emerge. Good energy. And then what fire are you afraid to feel or speak? And that's the Emperor reversed. Right? So this is the wounded father, Emperor reversed. So this is huge. You fear your own inner masculine or your external masculine projections. So this is rage at the father, fear of abandonment. It's anger towards anything that you're perceiving is controlling you, right? Anger towards abandonment. Like, why do these men just abandon? They take off. Why are they controlling me? They want to control me. There's anger coming up. So this is Tara becoming the very thing that you received as a child, right? So either being really, really controlling or abandoning others. You'll be doing it to yourself, abandoning yourself, betraying yourself. And the message here is, if you speak what you're afraid of, is if I speak my truth, if I actually speak my truth, the masculine will leave me. I can't, because this is what I learned in childhood. If I speak the truth, the masculine goes away. And this is why you're holding back. And this is why the fire is there, but the fear is taking over the fire. And remember, whatever you do not deliver, which is truth, it will destroy you. It will come back on you in terms of your body. Migraines, inflammation in the body, getting illness, having cough, like throat issues. That means you're not speaking the truth. And then what truth must be accepted to transmute the karma? Seven of Cups is like you're lost in an illusion. So this is the gate 13, right? The gate 13 volt. This is unspoken memory. It's fantasy. This is what could have been. So you must accept that you can't keep all the doors open. You need to choose. You need to make a choice. This is like, well, I'm in the flow, right? It's just like I'm waiting for something, the conveyor belt to come by, and then I'm going to choose it. It's like, no, you need to be aligned with the self. This is the mind that stays in fantasy, and then you get nowhere. Your fire is dispersed all over the place. And this is the realization that not everyone is going to walk with you. Not everyone will walk with you when you start to rise, and that's correct for you. So not all the lovers, the teachers, or the twin flames are here to stay. The false twin flames are here to stay. Even your twin flame is not here to stay, right? It's just making your choice. To rise, you must grieve the fantasy. Grieve the fantasy, and then choose the truth, right? Choose the truth. And in terms of twin flame, I mean, you can never get rid of your twin flame energetically, but physically, yeah, your twin flame could be completely gone out of your picture, out of your life, right? So this is about just making a choice and choose you. It's about choosing you first. And then whoever's around you is aligned with you when you choose you first. Don't be waiting for other people. Well, I'll just wait and see who's around me. This is about taking the reins of your life now. So what action or embodiment, right? What step must you take now? And you got the Empress reversed. So this is about reclaiming your body. This is a huge message, Divine Feminine, is to reclaim your body, reclaim your root, be in your body, stop overgiving, stop mothering others at the expense of yourself, stop abandoning yourself to be loved, and stop collapsing when you're met with rejection. And the collapsing means making yourself small, right? When you're met with rejection. Rejection's going to happen. Rejection is going to happen. That's a guarantee. But the problem is people not reject. The problem is not them rejecting you. The problem is when you reject yourself, when you start rejecting the parts of you that they're rejecting. That's when it becomes a problem. So don't collapse. Stay in your power. So the Empress must come home to herself. The Divine Feminine must come home to herself, not to the illusion of partnership. And this says you can't rise if your body isn't safe for you to live in. And I talked about this in so many of my videos, Divine Feminine, that if your body is not relaxed, if you're in a karmic situation and your body is not relaxed, it's always on edge, you're on high alert, you're feeling fear. And the only way to be with that karmic is to be in your head, just to be a head on a stick. That's not your power. So it's to be in your body, to come home back into your body. And that's where your truth is, right? To trust your body. Okay, so to come back in your body, you can't rise the 54 until you're in your body first. You're not going to, the 54 is coming from the root. It's not coming up from the head and the mind. And then the anchor here is judgment, and then the devil reversed underneath. So this is saying that you can't, this is the anchor card of the whole spread, that you can't pretend anymore, right? You can't fake anymore. The karma is ending for you, Divine Feminine. So you will either rise or you'll be released from this path of your spiritual path. You're either going to rise or you'll be released. entirely. And the devil reverse says that the cords are breaking, the cords between you and this karmic relationship or this karmic situation, right? They're breaking, they're dissolving, and the addiction to the old dynamics is ending. So this is the false twin. It's the father wound. The addiction to fixing others is dissolving. But judgment here says only if you answer the call, only if you answer your soul, what your soul and intuition has been saying. If you stay in this loop, this Seven of Cups energy, well, I'll just be the jellyfish and see what happens. Maybe they'll change. Maybe they'll do something. Being passive and apathetic. Meanwhile, not listening to the call of your soul. Your call of your soul is telling you something, and it's time to start listening and acting on it. Right? And then this means that you get out of this karmic situation. This means that all these dynamics starts to dissolve for you. Basically, it's your get out of jail free card is this, but you have to answer the call of your soul. And it just takes a baby step. 54, right? Sustainable growth. Okay. And your soul will do that. Like, okay, just ask yourself, well, what step can I make today? I don't have to do the big, huge leap, but what step can I make today? And it's step by step by step. And this starts to dissolve. And this is what's causing you suffering. This devil energy. It's karmic. It's very, very karmic. So you're no longer allowed, this reading is saying you're no longer allowed to outrun your fire, to avoid your fire, to avoid your power. You're no longer allowed to blame the masculine in your life, right? To blame that karmic or any masculine in your life and avoid your own voice, making their voice more important than your own. You're no longer allowed to do that. You're no longer allowed to keep the fantasy alive while the body dies in silence. While the body dies in silence. Your body knows the truth. So this full moon in gate 54, it's your reckoning. So you want to burn the illusion. You want to choose your flame, right? And you want to deliver the codes or the contract closes. So it's time to make steps. And 54 is giving you the fire. It's giving you the ambition. So get clear on what your values are, right? Is your value just to hang out in the Maya for another lifetime, choosing comfort and security and safety over your soul's evolution and growth? Are you going to do that again? This is a window of time that's closing. 2027 and onward, reincarnation will not be the same. You'll be coming in as a rave. These are the new species, and there's 5 of them. There's a shared awareness. So imagine Siamese twins, right? But there's 5 of you all joined together, not physically, but in terms of your psyche, there's 5 of you. That doesn't sound appealing to me, right? So this is a window of time. So it's time to take your spiritual journey seriously now, right? Okay, and then what do we got next? We got those twin flames. Okay, and there's the devil again for the twin flames. So this is twin flame and false twin flame cards for this full moon in the 54th gate. So we'll start off with, where do we want to start off with? We'll start off with the false twin first. So we've got the devil reversed, we got justice, we've got 2 of swords, we got 5 of pentacles. So the false twin is the trauma bond disguised as love. Trauma bonding disguised as love. Deep karmic entanglement around abandonment with that 5 of pentacles, control, guilt, survival. The fantasy of saving the other. I'm going to save my karmic while you're abandoning yourself. Denial of the truth, 2 of swords. Not looking at the truth. Feeling alone, right? So this is like, I thought he was the one. I thought he was the one. I had all these dreams about this karmic relationship. But you couldn't speak your truth around him. That's a big sign that he's a karmic. He runs when you start to speak your truth. He runs when you start to show your fire, right? It's a big sign because he's not meant to rise with you as a phoenix, right? So the pressure is going to, like I said, the pressure will get more and more and more and more, where you can't hold back anymore here. So this costs you your body's health, right? It costs you your voice, and then it costs you your self-worth. Now you're in this position of the Five of Pentacles. But not all hope is lost. Never, 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 never. Not with the 54. So look at this in truth, your karmic relationship. And then what lesson did you come to learn through this connection with your false karma? Begging. Stop begging. You got your begging bowl. Please choose me. You're so much better than me. I have you on a pedestal. Please choose me. Right? You give me my sense of self-worth and self-esteem. Please choose me. Please choose me. That's the only way I'm getting self-esteem and self-worth. This is like stop the begging, right? So stop defending a connection that only exists in a fantasy. It's not real. It's just a fantasy in your head. You're starting to look, divine feminines, at your karmic in truth. And I'm not defending this fantasy anymore because it's not real. You learn to say no. You've learned to say no to inconsistent, unavailable, or emotionally manipulative men. All talk, no action. You've learned to say no to them. You started to grab a spine. You started to stand up for yourself here. This is what the lesson has been. And I'm assuming that you're getting it. My sense is you're getting it. So you don't have to fight for love that's not real, right? You're chasing a ghost. It's not real. And so where was the illusion or distortion still active? Judgment reversed, right? So this is, you were confusing the intensity of the karmic. The karmic relationships are very, very intense, right? The pull is very, very powerful. So you've confused it with destiny. This karmic with destiny. Well, he's my sole purpose, right? It's destined. We're destined to be together, right? So you've heard the call. You heard the call of your soul, but you kept lowering the frequency to match his. Oh, I heard the call of my soul and my soul purpose, but I had to make myself small to like fit in with him, what he's doing, right? With hiding behind him, dimming it. And this is, you've stayed silent, judgment reversed, hoping he'd awaken and change, but you lost your own voice along the way. So he wasn't your twin flame. He wasn't your soulmate. He was the last test before truth. And remember, we bring in our false twin before the true twin can come in, so that we can see our wounding, where we're wounded here. And there's a lot of self-worth, self-esteem wounding around here. Is the connection still alive or complete? Temperance reverse for the false twin. It's complete. It's complete. You've learned your lesson. So the imbalance is permanent with the false twin. This is permanent. It's a permanent imbalance. It's never going to balance out. There's not going to be a change. He's not going to rise with you. So continuing this would lead to energetic collapse or spiritual delay. Spiritual delay on your journey. So the lesson is done, and you let the karmic fire die. Let the karmic fire die. So what energy must be embodied now to align with your true counterpart, with your true, divine counterpart? So this is emotional maturity, rooted power, clean boundaries, sacred restraint, and trust in your own self-worth, your own will. So this is like you're enough, right? Be still enough to be felt, right? That fits with the fractal, not to be the Knight of Wands, right? To be still and embodied in the Empress energy so that others can, no chasing. This is a not chasing card. It's being in your lioness, right? So this is a divine feminine who no longer goes into silence when she's rejected. She doesn't silence herself. She doesn't scream to be heard, to be heard. She doesn't settle for crumbs of love. She doesn't doubt her own knowing. She doesn't doubt her intuition. She walks with lion-hearted grace, and she lets her fire draw in her true mirror. Okay? And then the anchor is saying the hermit here is to walk away from the illusion, not into despair. You're not in despair, you're not hopeless, but you're burning, right? You're burning into your own light. You're going within. The hermit card is about going within to your own light. And this is the pause, right? Not as a punishment, not abandonment, but a sacred withdrawal to go to reclaim your truth. So you're not lost. You're being refined in solitude, so that the one who rises to meet you will know how to stay, will stay. Okay, so this is like a pause with the hermit card here to go within. Okay, so let's go to the true twins, the true twin flames, and we'll look at it from this perspective. So this is a liberation. What did you come? What soul contract was being played out or is being played out now? And this is liberation. It's a liberation contract. You came to break karmic bonds. You came to balance soul karma with justice. You came to face unspoken truths with the Two of Swords. You're here to heal abandonment issues as twins. The Five of Pentacles. This is rejection, abandonment wounds. And so this is classic. This is a classic twin flame alchemy, not false twin when you look at it from this perspective. So you feel the connection, but you're trapped. You feel the connection of your twin, but you're trapped in inner poverty, the Five of Pentacles. You may feel like you're dealing with scarcity issues on the material. So you can be feeling that, twins. Feeling guilt, fear of choosing, making the wrong choices here. There can be emotional paralysis, and this is a real contract, right? But one of you is spiritually hiding. One of the twins is spiritually hiding from this contract. So what was the lesson that you came to learn through this connection? So this is spiritual sovereignty in the face of separation. So you're initiated into defending your truth without chasing, knowing the truth of your connection without chasing it, holding love without needing. This is all about finding your own love, your own union within, right? Saying, even if my twin doesn't choose me, I still choose love because that's who I am. That's who I am. So this is the twin flame path here. It's unconditional love that doesn't collapse into overgiving, right? Proving your worth, earning your worth. And can you still hold on to the Two of Cups even if you stand alone? You've got your two cups, the twin's not around, but you're still holding it. You're still holding this love, the frequency of love within. This is like out of codependence, right? Codependence has no room on the twin flame journey. Any little sniff of codependency, it's not going to work. The universe will just take you two away because you're here to heal. You're here to heal all those false cross-planning paradigms for relationships. So this is what you've mastered. That's what this is saying, Divine Feminine. You mastered, but the twin hasn't. They're not there yet. They're not there yet. So where was the illusion or distortion active? The judgment here. This is your twin didn't answer the call, right? The soul's calling them, giving them insights, showing them synchronicities in the world, Wherever they go, they're seeing your name, they're reminded of you, they've had visions of their soul purpose with you, but they didn't answer the call. Judgment reverse. They haven't answered the call. So this was a destined wake up. This was a destined wake up. The moment to rise, for your twin to rise, but they delayed. They put it off, right? They avoided the rebirth. They avoided the rebirth. They chose silence. They chose safety. They chose karmic entanglement instead. Anything but to answer the call of their soul. So this isn't a no. It doesn't say like it's a no forever, but it's delayed. The soul contract's delayed and possibly deferred for a while. So the trumpet sounded, but they didn't rise. So is this connection still alive in your destiny path, or has the purpose completed? So it's saying that it's not completed, but it's out of balance right now. It's inaccessible. So there's still a soul bond, but the energy is fragmented. Divine timing is not active, and they're not alchemizing the lessons. They're not alchemizing their lessons. So the temperance reverse will show up when one twin is still emotionally disembodied or split between timelines. They're split. They've got one timeline. This is like that Seven of Cups energy, right? They've got their karmic partner timeline and then their soul path, right? And remember, the karmic partner is not their soul path at all. So to not take it personally too. What I want to say is when the twin rejects you and moves away from you, they're moving away from their soul. Their own soul is to look at it like that, right? So don't take it personally. So they're split between timelines. So this is a divine union energy that's been disrupted, it's been delayed, or it's been dishonored. It's been dishonored by the other twin. So it needs an act of grace at this point, right? To realign, an act of grace. So what energy must you embody now to come into sacred union with yourself? Well, this says that you've already dropped the burden, and now comes the embodiment of clean, patient, anchored love. So this is about you rooting in your body, leading from your heart, staying confident with the strength card. And this is the card of someone you're no longer chasing. You're not chasing your twin, right? You're okay, you're no longer chasing your twin, you're no longer fixing. You're no longer trying to save. You don't need anything. You don't need to say anything. Your presence already commands truth. Your presence. So you share a field as twin flames. You share the same field. So you just be in your frequency. You be in your sovereignty, right? That's your job, not to be running and chasing. It's to stay in your power, in your power. So strength says to stay in your frequency. Stay in your frequency, and your twin will either rise or be replaced, right? So if your twin doesn't rise, they'll be replaced by a divine counterpart, high-level soulmate, by one who will, because you have a soul purpose together, and if they don't show up, they renege on their contract, basically, they step away, then the universe will bring someone else in, right? So you just stay in your frequency. And then the anchor is the hermit. So you're now walking alone. This is saying you're walking alone for now, the hermit card, but you're illuminated, right? The lantern, the light is within you. And this is the high priestess phase of the twin flame path that all twin flames have to go through. So this is you hold the flame. You hold the flame. You do not chase. You withdraw to purify and embody what has been revealed for you. So this is sacred solitude, and this is in your true mirror, right? Either this twin rises and shows up, or it will be another person are going to be drawn to your frequency. They'll be drawn to your frequency, not for you reaching, right? And needing and wanting and all that energy, right? That obsessive energy. So you go deep within, and if they're ready, They'll find you. They'll find you. Okay, so there's the twin flames, and uh, 1 hour 34. Okay, so remember that the online retreat, and I love the online retreat because I can go deeper with these teachings, and we have a really profound, deep experience. So if you're called, please show up, right? So go to my website to learn more information, and this is like a week and a half away. Okay, so I will see you. When will I see you? We'll see, because opening circles next Friday. Anyway, I'll deal with that bridge when I get to it. Okay, so take good care, everybody. You can follow me on Instagram, Telegram, the YouTube community page, and I have a free newsletter too that you can sign up for. And I got some stuff on my website too. Okay, so take care, everybody. Satnam Aloha.